All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. As usual, it is Friday. You know what that means, right? Say it with me. It is Octane Friday. Yep, we made it. We're getting into the holiday season. We're going to switch gears pretty soon, but not yet. And today is a first in the cave. We are discussing not one, not two, but 3 albums from the same band. So let's get to it. All right, so first and foremost, we are talking Guns N' Roses. Have we done Guns N' Roses here in the Rock Cave? I don't think we have done it, have we? I'm not sure. But do we do Appetite? I don't know. Anyway, so we're going back to 1991. Now, September of 91 was a big deal. And by this time in 91, the holiday season, these 2 albums were entrenched in the charts and on the airwaves, and everyone was all over this stuff. Okay, so we're going back to 1991. End of September, one of the most anticipated albums to be released in a long time. There was so much hysteria over this, so much anticipation. They released these albums at midnight, and it just sold in record amounts. There was as much anticipation for these records as anybody, like Michael Jackson, Bruce Springsteen. I mean, it was huge, right? This was a big deal. They put out Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. Remember this, everybody? They didn't put out a double record. They put out 2 separate records. So that was new and different, right? And this was a musical divergence for them. It wasn't all heavy, hard rock. There was blues in there, and classical, and metal. I mean, there's all kinds of styles in here. This is a ton of songs. There's a lot of material here. Use Your Illusion 1 debuted at number 2, sold about 685,000 copies the first week, sold 7 million overall, and was nominated for a Grammy. Use Your Illusion 2 sold a little bit more, 770,000, went to number 1, and Use Your Illusion 1 is considered their 3rd album, and Use Your Illusion 2 is considered their 4th album, and that would be the last album Guns N' Roses had with Izzy on guitar until Chinese Democracy. This was a big deal, like I said. Now, I myself, I was just a okay Guns N' Roses fan, to be honest. Appetite I was fine with the singles on there. I mean, I loved Sweet Child of Mine and Welcome to the Jungle, but I did not listen to that record. I didn't listen to the whole thing regularly. I had people in my life that were big fans, but I just wasn't quite there yet as far as that's concerned. But when these records came out, I loved these records. In particular, Use Your Illusion 2, I think, has the big advantage, but I became a fan at that time. All right, so there's a lot of songs on here. I'm not going to go through them all. So if you have songs on either of these records that you really like, and I'm not mentioning them, which is a good chance I'm not going to mention all the ones that you like, let me know. But Use Your Illusion 1, that one really didn't do much for me overall. I don't remember really playing that one very much. It did have Live and Let Die, the remake of Paul McCartney. It had Don't Cry, but November Rain is really the highlight of that particular record. A 9-minute opus, the longest song to ever chart in the top 10. How about that? And it's part of a trilogy. The trilogy goes November Rain, Don't Cry, and Estranged. Apparently those 3 all go together. And then Garden of Eden, that was a pretty good song, but really the highlight for me on that one was November Rain. Use Your Illusion 2, that's where it was all at for me. There are some awesome songs on here that you just don't hear on the radio at all. Obviously Civil War got its play. I used the beginning of that, which they took from a movie, on my answering machine back when there were answering machines. 14 Years. Do they play 14 Years on satellite or anything? If you haven't heard 14 Years, play that song. And Yesterday's, same thing. Yesterday's, awesome Guns N' Roses song. I really like his voice, and I like that song a lot. Knocking on Heaven's Door, that got a huge amount of attention. Obviously, the remake, they played that one a lot, and I think he did a good job. I have no issues with that. That could have been a make or remake. Get You in the Ring, and You Could Be Mine. Obviously, You Could Be Mine from the Terminator 2. That was an epic song. That could have been today's song of the day. That would fit the mold perfectly, but alas, it is not. I'm going with a curveball here. I'll probably end up putting some of the other ones under there, but if I have to pick a song of the day, one song from both these records, for me, it is clear. It's Estranged. Estranged is also a very long song. I think it's like almost 8 minutes, I think. But Estranged is my favorite song on both of these records by far. So that'll be the one that I consider song of the day between these two. All right, I said I was going to do 3 records, right? Because we're going also to this week. Let's see, though, this past week, Guns N' Roses released their second record. Was that 1980, 1990, 91? 1990. GnR Lies. Now, this is also, like, they put GnR Lies out. I didn't listen to that record at all. I had nothing to do with that record. I don't know, it didn't really do it for me. It did have the record, the song Patience on it. The album went to number 4, sold 4 million copies, and obviously Patience, I would listen to that one on the radio. But this particular record is a strange record. It's got, the last 4 songs are acoustic. It's got 2 very controversial songs on it that probably wouldn't fly at all today. One in a Million and Used to Love Her. They used to play Used to Love Her on the radio and stuff like that. But those 2 songs were entrenched in controversy, and I don't know how much those would fly again today. Rolling Stone reviewed this record and said, at this point, Guns N' Roses could put out a whole record of Baptist hymns and go to number 1. So they did do the remake of Mama Kin from Aerosmith. That one was actually pretty good. But again, I was not listening to this record. It wasn't until 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago or something. Good friend Tom introduced me to this song off this record, and I was like, what is this? Now this is good. And it turns out it's the song You're Crazy. It's an acoustic version of it. It's on the original first album. It's on electric version on Appetite for Destruction. And I listened to that version, and I don't like it at all. And this is a very different version. They say this is the manner in which it was intended to be recorded. If you don't know You're Crazy off of GnR Lies, you got to listen to it. But the point is, you go through it, but you got to stick with it. You got to listen to the end, because when it hits the high note at the end, when it just really builds up, it's pretty amazing, and it is an Octane Friday song. So that's what we got going on today. We got all kinds of Guns N' Roses for you. Use Your Illusion 1, Use Your Illusion 2, and Lies. We covered 3 albums from them. Welcome to the club, Guns N' Roses. Welcome to the Cave Club. Axel, if you're out there, hit me up. I got questions for you. All right, so enjoy your Octane Friday. Another great weekend coming up. Great songs coming up this weekend, so stick with me. Have a great day, and as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.